internet people, I am here again with another video, and before I review the Avengers, which came out in 2012, may I just say, the Captain America Civil War trailer is out, and I'm so excited. Like, it's an amazing trailer, and it's just the first one, too. We're gonna get more after this. I'm over the moon, honestly, because I've been waiting for this trailer for months, and I'm so glad it's finally here, and that we can finally see it. We see even a glimpse of the movie that's coming in May 6th, 2016. Can't wait. It's gonna be amazing. So that's something I'm definitely thankful for. Yes. So moving on, moving a little back in time, actually. I'm going to talk about the first Avengers movie. So the first movie where we see all of them team up for the first time. Like, it hadn't happened before in this particular saga, so it finally happened in 2012, the Avengers. Now, I think there's a lot of things I really love about this movie, and I'm not gonna get into it, but I like it maybe a little bit more than Age of Ultron. That's video for another time. But this one, I really love all of it, really. I love how it comes together, I love how it evolves, and just the final climactic battle, and then the end. Let me start with Hawkeye. Now, I feel like I didn't appreciate him enough when I first saw this movie, but upon a lot of rewatchings and a lot of reading people's metas on Tumblr, I realized it's really neat that he's the one who's keeping an eye on everything in the lab. He's keeping an eye on everyone working and the Tesseract and everything like that. And he notices that no one's tampered with it. No one's done anything they weren't supposed to do. So if there is a breach, if there's a problem, it's not on our end. And that's basically what he tells Nick Fury near the beginning, that, hey, if there's like a problem, I don't think anyone here did anything wrong or messed with it or anything. So yeah, he's really observant. He really, again, I think he said, or someone says, that he sees better from above, from looking down and just observing. And that's really cool. And I think it's a door into space, right? The Tesseract, so it can open both ways. So hence, foreshadowing what will happen next of Loki coming through the Tesseract, landing there, wreaking havoc. Now, I love Loki. I love his moral greatness, his villainy, his evolution of character in all the movies he's been in. And I think here, we see him for the first time, well, not the first time, but we see him as only the villain. We don't see him go from, not knowing who he is and then becoming a villain. He's just a villain here. And I think it's really cool. I love Tom Hiddleston. I love the way he plays Loki. And yeah, so this scene, we see him, he's come through the Tesseract, he has a plan, he enacts it, he controls people, and he controls Clint and Dr. Selvig, and takes them with him to enact his plan. And and so when we see the ensuing chase, the ensuing, as they get away, and they succeed, but people die in the process, and I think the base is totally wrecked, or mostly. So yeah, quite the start to the movie, honestly. So yeah, that definitely is interesting. And another thing I think I've read somewhere is that Hawkeye, we see him use a gun in this movie as opposed to just a bow and arrow. We see him use a gun, and I don't know how good of a shot he is. Probably not as good as he is with a bow and arrow, obviously, but we see him shoot really fast. And I think I read somewhere that maybe some tiny part of his mind was like, okay, I know I'm not a good shot with a gun, but and I know I'm controlled to shoot people, to follow Loki's orders, but I think maybe some part of him was kind of purposely trying to miss, but not look like he was trying to miss. It was really quick. It was really he didn't really take time to aim very well. So maybe miss, but not put himself under suspicion. Who knows? That's someone else's thought, and I'm just borrowing it here. Yeah, it's a curious idea. Anyway, movie goes on. We see Steve, being asked to be involved in this, to, figure stuff out, to be part of the team, and, this ragtag sort of team trying to form, and, I think it's been a few months since I've seen this movie, so forgive me if all the details don't line up. But I'm going to talk about individual characters before they team up. Steve's kind of getting used to 21st century life, he's kind of adjusting as best as he can alone, with no one he knows, and no one who knew him from back then, that sort of thing, and that's got to be hard, and all he knows at this point is work, and S.H.I.E.L.D., and all of that, and so, that it's definitely, it's sad seeing him be lonely, and try to adjust all by himself, that can't be fun, but, anyway, moving on, I don't remember the exact order, but I know we see Bruce Banner, too, before he comes to help the Avengers, he's in a remote location. I don't remember what country they said, but he's trying to help. He's trying to do something good, and Natasha catches up to him, trying to recruit him, trying to get him to come in and help. It's a very interesting conversation. These two kind of dancing around each other. But then finally, him finding out that she's not there alone. She has backup, obviously. And I think at that point he does agree to come in. He does agree to help, because they don't need him to be the Hulk. They need him to be the scientist, Dr. Banner. And so, he agrees to do it and to come in. And I think after that we see Tony Stark, and Pepper. They're cute. And Coulson come in and kind of interrupt their evening and say, "Hey, come on, Tony. We need your help. We need you to look at this file, blah, blah, blah." And he does. And he studies, and he comes on the helicarrier the kind of the next day, where Natasha, Steve, and Bruce have already come. And I'm sorry if I'm jumping ahead. I probably am. So backing up a little, I think, Loki, with his help that he's brainwashed, goes to somewhere in Germany to, I forget exactly why he was there, but it's clear he loves the chaos, he loves order, he wants to rule. And how much of that was his idea and how much of it was Thanos' idea, I guess we don't know, but I guess he probably wanted to rule something, and if he couldn't rule Asgard, Earth might have been just as well. But, he has his disguise, or not disguise, but his true form, I guess, his helmet, his, metal and leather outfit, and, full, god of mischief and chaos mode, just, all of that, and so, yeah, they break in there, and he subdues everyone with his staff, with the, which we find out later is an Infinity Stone inside it, but I don't know if he knew that. I'm very curious if he did. But anyway, his mind control thing, he subdues everyone, and at that point, Steve Rogers Captain America comes in to stop him, kind of, not succeeding that well, but, Captain America comes in, and then, Natasha has his guns aimed at him from above, from, like, I don't know what, not a helicarrier, but something like that. And so, she's got guns pointed at Loki, and then, obviously, Iron Man comes in, hacks the PA system, plays his rock and roll. He's just, hey, I got this. And oh, man. Those beginnings of when they were all trying to work together and trying to figure it out, it's glorious. But anyway, yes, they subdue Loki, they bring him onto the helicarrier, where everyone is, before that, obviously, taking him there, transporting him there. Thor comes to get his brother, to take him back to Asgard, all of that, and, it's interesting, because I don't think Captain America and Tony knew Thor was going to come. I don't think anyone knew, so it's a bit of a surprise, and so, Thor tries to talk Loki into coming back, like, come home, we'll get this sorted out, all that kind of thing. Don't you remember, we grew up together, we played together and fought together, and Loki's kind of not having any of it. I read somewhere that for maybe a second, you might have believed Thor and thought that, gee, someone actually misses me. But obviously that gets overshadowed by everything else he's feeling. So that doesn't pan out. But I think it's hilarious that Captain America and Iron Man both try to stop Thor, because, like, hey, he's our prisoner, not yours, blah, 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 and all this arguing. And for, I don't know how long, the fight exactly was supposed to go on for, but I think it's hilarious that Loki, I mean, obviously he wanted to be captured, we find that out later, but it would have been kind of hilarious if they had been fighting but he got away, but fortunately it didn't work out that way. But yeah, so Loki just kind of watches the fight, just like, I wonder if he was like rooting for anyone. It was just like, ooh, chaos, fighting, arguing, mayhem, that sort of thing. I find that really funny. And I don't think I noticed that the first time around. It took me a few times to. He's just like sitting there watching everyone fight. And obviously the fight and the whole movie really has amazing one-liners that make you laugh, make you chuckle. It's great. I love it. I love those moments. I think it's awesome how Joss Whedon put those in, and it's neat. It's fun, and they finish their fight. Captain America kind of breaks it up, and they get everyone back to the helicarrier. Everyone's there now. Everyone's trying to work, and I love Dr. Banner and Tony's interactions together. Tony doesn't baby him or coddle him. He just treats him like he would treat anyone else, and it's great. I think it's exactly what Bruce needs. Everyone else is walking around on eggshells around him, even if they don't say it. But Tony's like, screw it. I'm gonna treat you like a friend. I'm gonna treat you with the same like sarcasm and bluntness that I treat everyone, and I think that's okay. And I think maybe in a way Dr. Banner kind of appreciated that for once someone isn't trying to tread so very carefully around him. And this brings me, excuse me, all the scenes on the helicarrier I think are great, and especially when they're all arguing, but we found out that thing that might, I don't know if this caused the argument, I don't think it did, but one thing that maybe kept the argument going, or perpetuated everyone's feelings of irritation and anger toward each other, and all that kind of thing, that Loki's staff that they took from him, and they were kind of studying or just keeping away from him, that it was kind of perpetuating it. It was perpetuating the anger, perpetuating the argument. So, that's bad. And it obviously was his plan, too. And his plan to, get everyone maybe angry and distracted, maybe? Bring out the Hulk. Obviously, the Hulk destroys everyone. But if the Hulk had destroyed everyone and everything, would Loki have just hoped that maybe the helicarrier would crash, and then he would get out of the cage he was in? Maybe. I might have to look this up and think about it more, because, bring out the Hulk. Sure, have a plan to do that, but then how are you going to get out of your cage? Which, speaking of Loki in the cage, I really love this scene where Natasha goes to talk to him, and she tries to act like maybe they're on sort of the same level. They both have things they maybe regret, terrible things they've done. She acts like she wants his help to wipe out the red in her ledger, that sort of thing. Maybe kind of appeal to him, kind of try to get on his good side, or be seen as a little bit more understanding or on the same level. Obviously, he's not buying any of it, and he's just like, no deal. Do you really think you could wipe out that much red, all the things you've done, before S.H.I.E.L.D., and who you were, nothing can make up for that, blah, blah, and then he's like, oh, I'm gonna kill you in front of Clint, Hawkeye, and all, all these terrible things, and some way she turns around, and she seems to be choked up, and she's like, you're a monster, and he's just like, oh, yeah, yep, I'm a monster, anything, what else is new, but then, and I think he says something else, and then she's like, then she turns around, and we see that she's totally fine. She's like, your plans to release the Hulk? Oh, thank you for telling me. And Loki is thrown. He is thrown by the fact that she played him like a freaking banjo. Okay? A banjo, a fiddle, pick your instrument. She played him like one. And it's great, and it's awesome. And I think it's really amazing that I think someone pointed out that one of her superpower, well, maybe not given to her by science, but one of her abilities is manipulation, right? And so she was able to manipulate Loki, and it's it's wonderful seeing her be able to do that and succeed and find out his plan. And so they do, but at this point, and obviously, I'm sorry that I don't remember every detail of these films, but at some point the Hulk is released. He does turn into the Green Hulk, and all chaos ensues. And one person pointed out that Natasha was scared of the Hulk because the Hulk feels one emotion, pretty much just one. Now I haven't read the comics. I haven't seen other movies, so I can't answer this definitively. I can't say that I'm the authority on all the emotions the Hulk can feel, but it might seem to Natasha that he only feels anger and the need to cause destruction, and so she doesn't. So her gift of manipulation might not work here because he doesn't feel all the emotions that a normal human would. He just feels one, and so it might be hard to work with that. Anyway, yes, chaos ensues. Thor tries to help. Everyone's going crazy here, and chaos ensues, and then Loki tricks Thor into believing he's out of the cage, and Thor runs and stops him, but it's an illusion, and Thor gets trapped in the cage. The helicarrier crashes. Everyone gets out safe, and the helicarrier was crashing. Tony and Steve work together to fix it, which beginnings of teamwork, guys. You're doing good, and and that kind of finishes, that little arc kind of finishes, and then then this all gets set up for the bigger battle, and also on that helicarrier, Natasha and Clint fight, and she's able to snap him out of the brainwashing. She's able to conk him real good on the head, and he's back to normal. And we have their conversation afterwards. Him asking how many people did he kill or hurt when he was under that influence, and she's like, don't do that to yourself. That sort of thing. I think this movie is where obviously it's the first movie with Black Widow and Hawkeye in the same movie, and it's when I first started shipping the two of them. I think I still do. Obviously I can't really ship them in a romantic sense because his character's married, which you find out later. Sorry, spoiler alert for everything. But I still love that they're good friends and they have that special relationship. But yes, moving on. Backing up, still on the helicarrier, that liner about what are they gonna do about Loki? What can be done? And Thor saying, be careful how you talk about him. He's my brother. Blah blah blah. And then Natasha's all like, he killed 80 people in 2 days. He's all like, he's adopted. Just another one of those hilarious one-liners, which I know it's definitely funny, but I guess in another sense it's in kind of maybe not the best way to phrase that, because it casting a shadow on adopted people, that's not okay. Anyway, moving on here. Helicarrier is crashed, but everyone's okay. They eventually get reunited and they figure out a plan. But in the meantime, Loki still has Selvig under his control, and this sets up the big battle in New York and opening the portal, which lets in the Chitauri, to rain down havoc and kill people and everything like that. And sent by the other, they're standing by, and the portal opens. They're flooding an alien army coming to wreak havoc. The Avengers come. They try to hold them off. Great fight. Great different people fighting different perspectives. Trying to save some civilians. Everything like that. And everyone trying their hardest to hold this off. And then obviously, I think that, and kind of maybe before the portal opened or it was about to, Loki and Tony's conversation I find interesting. Obviously, there's one-liners there, but Tony standing up to him, and also Loki not being able to control Tony like he normally can control everyone, but Tony had the arc reactor in his chest, so he can't be controlled. So I find that kind of awesome, obviously, and that's awesome. And the whole I have an army, we have a Hulk, that kind of banter. I love that. Then obviously the Battle of New York, the big grand, everyone teaming up, their first team up and having to be allies and work together. That's awesome. And I love when Bruce Banner shows up and like, hey, I'm here to help. I'm here to do my best and all of that sort of thing. And I forget how this comes up, but I think Natasha's like, I think he might have apologized for earlier for, wrecking the helicarrier, all that kind of thing. And she's like, it's okay, I've seen worse. And he's like, I'm sorry you've seen worse. But she's like, no, it's okay, we can use a little worse. He's like, we need you to be the Hulk. You can help that way. And, that's kind of a good moment between those two. And that's neat. The battle rages on, ensues, and, Loki and Thor fight again, and Thor's trying to help him, trying to stop him, and I think it's Natasha, who figures out how to shut down the portal, and she gets the staff and plunges it into the portal to where they have that set up, and not the portal, sorry, the device that opened the portal to stop that, shut that down, and I think at some point it works, but the problem is the World Security Council, who's kind of, I guess you could call them S.H.I.E.L.D.'s boss, or Fury's boss, or someone's boss. But they were sending a nuclear bomb to New York to wipe out everything. Not just aliens, but human life, too. Obviously, Nick Fury was not very happy with that. I don't think the Avengers would be either. He even has that glorious, that wonderful one-liner of, I recognize the council has made a decision, but given that it's a stupid-ass decision, I've elected to ignore it. Love that a lot. Anyway, so to stop the nuclear bomb from detonating in the city, Tony Stark, Iron Man, takes the nuke, flies it up to the portal into space, and falls back down from it. And for a second it looked like he would die. That this would be the end. That he finally we'd see his heroic side, not just his snarky side, but. We would see that he is the one to make that move. He is the one to do that sacrifice at the end, which is something Steve accused him of not being that person earlier. But this shows that he is, and that's who that's a part of who he is too. That's a good thing, and he gets to the portal just as it closes behind him, which. Intense stuff, but at this point the battle kind of ends, and Tony's alive. The Hulk's roar kind of jolts him awake, but yeah, and so they work together, and everyone fighting tooth and nail, and it paid off, and it's good, and I'm glad that they did. So this movie ends, and they've all succeeded in their first. The very first, but the first time that they've assembled, I guess, they succeeded in their mission. They stopped the alien army. They did good. So it's nice to see them at the end, kind of united, and Loki and Thor going back to Asgard, taking the Tesseract with them in its proper place, and yeah, and that's basically the end. I'm sorry to say I haven't really talked about a lot of end credit scenes because I don't remember some of them. So I'm sorry, forgive me. But yeah, so I really love this movie. I think it, even if some of the plot can be a little confusing of all the details of how Bruce was finally able to control his Hulk form at the end, saying I'm always angry, and I read this really amazing explanation one time, but I'm very sorry to say that I don't remember who wrote it or who said it, so, sorry to let you down there. But overall, I give this movie probably an 8 out of 10. I think I loved seeing it all come together and seeing our good guys team up, and also seeing Loki again. And yeah, of course he's a villain, but I think it's also contested that he had been captured by Thanos and he was made to do his bidding, even if part of him wanted to. You know, some of it may have been against his will, and I think in a deleted scene we more directly see how he's being controlled in his mind, and you know, we introduced a little bit of that in the movie where, you know, we see him in his present location, but then we see maybe his mind, whatever, communicating with the other, and I don't know if Thanos maybe, I don't remember, but anyway, and a little bit of a tidbit, random aside, that character in this movie, and in, I think, Guardians of the Galaxy too, he's played by Alexis Denisof, who played Wesley in Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel, and then in Much Ado About Nothing, so it's, you know, Whedonverse. So that's nice, that's awesome. So thank you very much for watching this movie. If you've made it to this point, I appreciate it. For all the people who have subscribed so far, thank you very, very much. Thank you for liking my videos. Thank you for watching them. You're awesome. You are amazing. So yeah, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. If you want to see more videos like this, where I review different movies, different TV shows, and talk about different characters and things that I love in my fandom life. So I appreciate it, and thank you for watching, and happy Thanksgiving. And I'll see you next weekend, where I will review Thor: The Dark World. Okay, bye!